Alright, today we are going to be making some pen holders. I got a new design that I'm looking forward to trying out. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I got a nice piece of, I guess you'd call it curly walnut here. Try to show you that. The first thing that I'm going to do is get a nice flat edge on the top side of this. I guess I should tell you too, before we get rolling, both these pieces are really close to 1 inch. This walnut here, it's a little under 1 inch, and this ash, a little over 1 inch. That's fine. So I think what's going to look better is this walnut up on edge. It's going to catch the eye. It's going to look beautiful. Can't wait for that. And then the ash is going to be the base, which is going to be a little wider, keep this thing sturdy, and its main job is going to be to contrast with the walnut with some cool joinery. We're going to try slapping a dado in there. And we're going to try creeping up on the width of that dado to get the ash in there perfectly, or vice versa. We might make the dado actually really close to 1 inch since this is just over, and then plane this down until it fits perfect. So let's get rolling. Alright, so now I'm just going to mark the dado that I'm going to cut over at the router. So I'm not too worried, like I know the dado is going to be, because this is going to ride the fence of the router, I know this dado is going to be perfectly straight and it's going to be the right width on either side, so I really just need to focus on the one side here to get the piece started, and I'll line the cutting bit of the router up with this. Looks pretty good. Over to the router. Okay, now what we've ended up with is this nice dado in the piece of ash, and we got this slab of walnut that eventually is going to fit in there perfect, but it doesn't quite yet. I left it shy, the dado, so that I could sneak up with the planer and get the perfect thickness here. So we're going to make little passes with the planer and drop it in here after one of them, and it's going to feel great. It should friction fit pretty well at that point, and the planer is really what allows me to do that because it takes off such a little bit at a time. It's hard to do that with other tools. I think first though, we're going to have to empty out this shop bag here that's attached to my planer. My planer is the DeWalt here, and what's cool about the DeWalt is it actively blows chips out, which means you can use a collection bag, and these bags have filters built in. It's pretty awesome. This one's Bighorn brand. Just sits on there with a hose clamp. It's been great. It prevents me from needing to hook this up to other dust collections, so that's great for me. Because I don't have a whole ton of space, you can probably see in the background. Yeah. Alright, couple more passes and it fits like a dream. pretty cool. Pretty snug. Alright, now we're going to glue this sucker up. Should be pretty easy. You're going to use these trigger clamps. Going to use Type Bond 2 here. Pretty solid wood. Pretty solid wood glue for indoor use. As usual, I'll drop links to everything I use in the description, so you guys can price it, see what it costs, you know, see how you like it, that kind of thing. Yeah, as far as those affiliate links go, they don't cost you guys anything. You know, start your shopping with one of them and I get a very small slice of the sale to support the channel. So yeah, consider that. Yeah, let's get on with that, huh? There's no need for a ton of glue on the sides of this. I'm just hoping for some of this big bead in the middle to kind of spill out over that way. Maybe we'll help it. Yeah, so we got edge grain to long grain here for the glue up, so should be pretty solid and end up stronger than wood. That's what they say anyway. Pressure fit that into place. See, we've done pretty well there. Get that clamped up. Really like these trigger clamps, very easy to work with, very quick. Nice thing about joinery like this, big dado with thick pieces, it really glues itself up pretty well. You just gotta make sure they're flush together, and then you know your angles are all taken care of. You don't have to worry about things being square. It all just works out. I think 3 will be good enough there. Should have enough glue on there so that it's kind of going up the sides a little bit in that joint. Oh yeah, we got squeezed out. We'll have to make sure to clean that. A little bit of squeeze out there. We'll go ahead and get that cleaned up. You can use a straw is the pro way of getting that out of there. Sometimes I use a chisel that I'm not very fond of, very lightly, you know, not enough to mar anything, but just enough to move it. We'll try to get that out of there. You can also wait till it tacks up a little and then go after it then. Alright, we will let this glue up for a while. I will probably give it an hour at least before I start working with it. I might even let it go overnight, we'll see. And then we'll start drilling holes into this walnut piece here, and we'll end up with a really cool looking pen holder, I hope. Who knows, it's a prototype. Alright, here's another shot of the glue up with way better light. Alright, here we are sometime later. It's actually the next day, so we've had the full 24 hours more or less on this. Should be nice and stable. Alright, so that's what we got. So now what we're going to do, while this is all in one piece, is sand it the best we can and get it ready to cross-cut into smaller pieces. Then we can go ahead and take a template and put some holes on top here, draw them first, and drill them. Let's do that. For hand sanding, I really like to use this little circular doodad here that I got off Amazon. It takes your sanding discs that you use for your sanding, or your random orbit sander, and gives them a nice surface. Super easy to hold. Alright, so here is the template that I use for the other pen holders. I basically just slap this on wood of the right dimensions. You know, we get the glue up, slap this on there, trace the circles, and then go drill them. I use the laser to cut this out, if you're wondering. This is a piece of walnut veneer. So just looking at this, I'm kind of thinking a 4-hole one might be good. I think aesthetically that's going to look the nicest. Maybe a 3-hole. Let's try it. So I have a nice square edge on this, so it's really easy to line it up to the corner, or it's basically, you got options for getting these dots nice and straight. You don't have to find the center point of this, but if you wanted to, you could measure the center of this, draw a line down the middle, and then make sure you're lined up with that. Make sure that you see that line in each one of these holes. This is a prototype, and I'm getting pretty good at doing it by eye, and frankly, that came out more or less perfect, so we're going to roll with that. Alright, I think to start, I'm actually going to do a 3-hole design. I'm going to cut one of those off, drill it, and we'll see how it looks. Alright, so I'm picking a depth where I'm going to go most of the way through this walnut piece, but not quite all the way through, just so that this glue joint stays a little stronger. I don't think it needs to. I could probably punch right through to the ash underneath and not have a problem, but it's going to be deep enough. Anything in the neighborhood of 1.5 to 2 inches is good to hold these pens. I'm going to be using a 5/8 inch Forstner bit to drill the holes. You can go narrower than that, but the idea that, or the philosophy that I take is better to have a hole that accommodates every pen that's too big for some than a hole that can't accommodate every pen because it's not big enough for many. So fountain pens tend to fit pretty snug in these anyway, and that's kind of the target audience that we have. Alright guys, overall I'm pretty happy with how this little thing came out. I think the joinery looks really cool. I think the pieces contrasting as much as they do is key for that joint to look cool. So what do you guys think? I don't know, I like how it came out. I think it looked. If you like this video or got anything out of it whatsoever, feel free to toss me a like, it helps out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff like this. For all the tools and stuff I used, as always, I'm going to put them in the video description as affiliate links. Full disclosure on that, costs you nothing extra. I get a very small slice of any purchases that go through that. You can start your shopping with those links. It doesn't really matter what you buy as long as you start your shopping with those links. Oh yeah, and what do you think? Did we make the right choice going with a 3-hole pen holder here? You think 4 or 5 would look good? My gut told me 3, but let me know in the comments if you think 4 or 5s would look good too. Maybe we'll give that a shot next. Till next time.